Burmese pythons have done unprecedented damage to the ecosystem in South Florida, and experts say these invasive snakes continue to move farther north. Typically, these apex predators are found in areas like the Big Cypress National Preserve and other parts of the Everglades.
Florida's swamps look wild and untouched, but recent footage tells a very different story. Hidden under the dark water and thick reeds, invasive Burmese pythons are quietly transforming the Everglades. Drone shots and motion-activated cameras show disappearing wildlife, shifting plant life, and a food web under stress. Human encounters with these giant snakes add tension and urgency to the picture. This is the story of how one invasive predator helped rewrite an entire ecosystem, and what that means for the future of Florida's wetlands. Python invasion unleashed. Burmese pythons, native to Southeast Asia, reach Florida mainly through the exotic pet trade and accidental releases. Over the years, some owners released unwanted pets into the wild, while powerful storms like Hurricane Andrew scattered captive animals from damaged facilities. By the 1990s, enough snakes had escaped that they formed stable breeding populations in the swamps, turning an isolated problem into a landscape-scale invasion. These snakes are almost perfectly built for swamp life. Their patterned skin lets them vanish among reeds, roots, and dark water. They can survive long stretches without food, tolerate changing temperatures, and use incredible strength to overpower prey much larger than themselves, including deer and large birds. Once they find a place with plenty of prey and cover, they settle in, reproduce quickly, and become extremely difficult to remove. In areas with many pythons, populations of raccoons, marsh rabbits, opossums, bobcats, and ground-nesting birds have collapsed. Camera traps that once recorded regular visits from small mammals now show long, empty stretches of time, broken only by the occasional python passing through. With prey gone, native predators struggle to feed, move into new areas, or raise fewer young. Some predators shift to scavenging or targeting different species, but that creates new imbalances in the food web. Mammals that once spread seeds and shaped vegetation are missing, so some plants overgrow while others fade. Thorny or less palatable plants may expand, changing how animals move and feed. Burrowing animals decline as well, altering how soil drains and how water moves through marshes. Areas that once soaked up water like a sponge may now erode faster or stay flooded longer. The python is not just another predator. It disrupts every layer of the swamp, from the top carnivores to the plants rooted in the mud. As the system weakens, other invaders move in. Non-native plants, fish, and rodents take advantage of disturbed habitats, filling gaps left by disappearing native species. Exotic rodents provide extra food for pythons, while invasive plants change cover and hunting conditions. This creates a feedback loop that favors tough, opportunistic species over fragile native ones. Footage of empty marshes, bare ground, and quiet shorelines, compared to older clips from the same locations, makes these changes impossible to ignore. People in the swamps. Florida's swamps are home, workplace, and playground to many people, not just wildlife. Airboat captains, fishermen, park rangers, and nearby residents all depend on healthy wetlands in different ways. As python numbers rise, human encounters increase. The snakes rarely target people, but their size and stealth make them a real threat to pets and small livestock, and a constant source of anxiety for residents who know they might be sharing space with a giant ambush predator. Stories of pythons near backyards, roads, and canals have become more common. A large snake on a trail or roadside can cause panic, traffic interruptions, and dangerous attempts at capture by untrained people. What used to feel like familiar wetlands now feels less predictable and safe, especially at night or in dense vegetation. Even when nothing happens, the knowledge that a huge snake could be nearby changes how people walk, work, and relax. Tourism and hunting traditions are affected as well. Visitors expect to see a rich mix of birds, fish, and small mammals. Instead, guides sometimes explain why parts of the swamp feel strangely empty or quiet. Fewer visible animals can make tours less impressive and reduce the sense of a thriving, wild landscape. Hunters find less small game in python-dense zones, forcing them to travel farther or adjust what they pursue. For communities that have long relied on these activities, those changes are more than just an inconvenience. To manage these risks and understand what is happening, Florida's Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, and partner agencies use drones, camera traps, and GPS-tagged snakes to track movements and hotspots. They map where python activity overlaps with roads, neighborhoods, and popular recreation areas, trying to anticipate problems before they grow. Viral clips of close encounters, researchers grabbing a huge python by the tail, or a snake being pulled from a culvert, show both the danger and the skill involved in handling them. Public python hunts, bounty programs, and education campaigns involve both professionals and volunteers. Climate shifts and water. Climate change is quietly helping pythons. Warmer winters mean fewer and weaker cold snaps, which once killed or limited tropical reptiles in Florida. As those natural checks fade, pythons can survive in more places and expand their range into new wetlands and further north. Footage from areas once considered too cold now shows the distinctive patterned bodies of these snakes moving through vegetation, proving that old assumptions no longer hold. Shifting rainfall patterns add another layer. Long droughts dry out ponds and marshes, forcing wildlife into shrinking pools of water. These crowded spots become easy hunting grounds for pythons, which can wait motionless in shallow water until prey comes close. Intense floods have the opposite effect, pushing animals into unfamiliar territory, including human neighborhoods or new swamp zones already occupied by snakes. Clips of crowded water holes followed by sudden python strikes show how climate stress and invasive predators combine to multiply the pressure on native animals. Vegetation responds to new patterns of heat and rain. Some plants thrive in wetter conditions, creating dense cover that hides pythons even more effectively. Others decline or shift location, leaving animals that depend on specific plants struggling to adapt. Areas that were once open and grassy can become choked with thick vegetation. In other places, plants die back, exposing bare soils and altering erosion patterns. The footage often captures subtle signs of these changes: muddy banks where roots once held soil, or unusual plant mixes in places that used to look very different. Warmer conditions can also boost some non-native rodents and amphibians, providing even more food for pythons and other predators. Meanwhile, many native species that evolved with more stable seasonal cues may not adjust as quickly, leading to sharper declines. Climate change, invasive species, and habitat disturbance reinforce each other, pushing the Everglades toward a new normal that looks less like the diverse wetland it once was. Scientists warn that if these trends continue, the python crisis we see today could be only one chapter in a larger story of transformation. The footage from Florida's swamps is not just about snakes. It is about a changing climate reshaping an entire landscape. Hidden lessons and opportunities. The cameras watching Florida's swamps are not just recording disaster. They are teaching scientists how complex ecosystems respond to invasion and change. Continuous footage captures python behavior in detail: how they hunt in water, use fallen logs and roots as ambush points, switch to more nocturnal activity, and avoid busy boat routes or roads. Some tagged snakes travel farther and use more varied habitats than expected, helping explain why traditional removal methods alone cannot solve the problem. The images also reveal how quickly small mammals vanish and how predators, plants, and even insects respond. Comparing time-lapse sequences from before and after python dominance shows patterns that would be hard to notice in short field visits. Raccoons and marsh rabbits fade from view. Ground nesting birds become rare. In some places, insect activity and plant growth shift as dead animals and seed dispersal patterns change. These visual records turn abstract ecological concepts into something concrete and measurable. The footage highlights the deep connections in the swamp. Remove mammals and predators go hungry, plants lose seed carriers, soils change, and water patterns shift. It also shows how roads, canals, pollution, and recreation sometimes favor invaders over natives, giving hardy species like pythons an edge in altered or fragmented habitats. This information helps conservationists decide where to focus limited time and resources, protecting key corridors, restoring certain marshes, or prioritizing particular wildlife refuges. There are signs of resilience too. Alligators and large birds of prey have begun preying on smaller pythons, especially young individuals, suggesting that over time, native predators may help control them. Each documented case of natural predation is a small hint that the food web can adapt, even if slowly. Researchers also use the invasion as a powerful teaching tool. Dramatic footage used in schools, tours, and outreach programs makes the problem real and emotional, encouraging people not to release exotic pets, to support habitat protection, and to treat the Everglades as a shared responsibility rather than a distant wilderness. In this way, the same images that shock viewers can also inspire careful reflection and more thoughtful decisions about how we interact with wild places. Fighting back and the future. Technology and human effort are now central to the swamp's future. Drones with thermal cameras fly over huge areas, scanning for the heat signatures of snakes hidden in vegetation or shallow water. High-resolution aerial footage maps where habitats are changing, where invasive plants are spreading, and where wildlife is still holding on. This allows teams to prioritize removal and restoration efforts where they will have the greatest effect. On the ground, camera traps document rare interactions and track the presence of both native and invasive species. GPS tags and implanted transmitters follow individual snakes for months, revealing their routes, favorite hiding spots, and breeding areas. Artificial intelligence models analyze all this data, predicting where pythons are most likely to move next and where new invasions might start. Instead of reacting blindly, managers can work with forecasts and risk maps. Citizen science apps let residents and tourists report sightings with photos and locations, feeding real-time data into wildlife databases. Organized hunts, specialized training programs, and clear reporting channels turn concerned citizens into valuable partners. Habitat restoration projects, replanting native vegetation, stabilizing eroded banks, improving water flow, backup removal work by making landscapes more supportive of native species and less welcoming to invaders. Policy changes add another layer of defense. Stricter rules on exotic pet ownership, better tracking of wildlife trade, and rapid response plans for new invasive detections help prevent future crises. Lessons from the python invasion influence how Florida and other regions think about management, reminding decision makers that early action is far cheaper and more effective than waiting for a full-blown ecological collapse. The future is still uncertain. Without strong, sustained action, pythons and other invasive species could simplify the ecosystem, leaving only a handful of resilient plants and animals. But with continued research, smart policy, technological innovation, and public involvement, Florida's swamps can adapt and recover, becoming a new but still rich version of the wetlands that once defined them. In the end, Florida's swamps tell a story of disruption, resilience, and adaptation. Footage of pythons, other invasive species, and human effort captures a living, changing landscape where danger and hope exist side by side. With science, technology, and community action, the Everglades can move toward a new balance, showing that even after serious damage, nature and people can still shape a better outcome together. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Epic Dive for more amazing documentaries.